Hello, cuties, and welcome to ASMR Hour, where we talk into my little microphone and describe random things and tap on it. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to ASMR this, but I'm hoping this is a decent enough location for my mic for you all. Hi! Guess what I did? I finished 100 books already. On May 17th, literally 15 minutes before midnight, I finished my 100th book this year, and I thought, let's take a little look at what books I read, the stats of those 100 books, and just have a little like, woo, here's my first 100, and then maybe I'll do it again for my second 100, which I don't doubt I will get to, considering this is about 4.5 months. No, 4.5 months of reading that got me to 100. Who knows? Maybe I'll even get to 300. Also, Lucy and Pi are here, and I have to be done with this video in about 20 minutes, so let's get to it. Woo! Here are my lovely stats. We've got the 100 books read, 36,821 pages in total, and 664 hours listened, and I did acquire 114 books, so I've acquired more than I've read. But that acquisition actually might be wrong, because it's not buying, and some of those might also be ebooks. We'll go over what I've actually physically acquired later, because that's definitely not that number, because that's pulling from a different spreadsheet, because there's multiple spreadsheets. You know me. The most I've read so far was in April, with 24 books in April. I kind of anticipate surpassing that in May, but that's fine. I read 19 of them in January, 20 in February, 22 in March, and then the 24 in April, and 15 to get me to the 100 in May so far. It is currently May 18th, the next day. My average rating is an even 4-star. We've had pretty decent reading time. Only 21 have been 5-star reads, with 11 being 4.5, 39 being 4, 3.5s have 10, 13 3-stars, 2 2.5, and 4 2-pointers. Luckily, nobody left. Nobody after that. I haven't had a 1-star or a 1.5. Maybe I've been generous this first, third trimester of the year, but who knows? That's just how it's been. The shortest book that I've read so far has been A Thief in the Night by KJ Charles with 91 pages. That was an ebook. The shortest book I listened to on audio was When Among Crows by Veronica Roth at 4.5 hours long. That is a novella that is coming out this month, I believe. Is it out yet? It might already be out. But I think it's a May release, and I just finished it really early. I had an ARC audio copy, which was really cool. The longest book I read was Paradise One by David Wellington at 681 pages, but the longest audiobook I listened to was The Umbral Storm at 23.5 hours. Let's scrolly back up. So here is our genre distribution. This is our main genre and our subgenre. So no shock there, 55 of the books were fantasy. Okay, 6 were historical, 7 were horror, 1 was lit fic, 3 were magical realism, 4 were mysteries, 1 nonfiction, 9 were romance, 7 were sci-fi, 2 were classics, 5 contemporaries, and no, that's it. That's where I'm at. Cool. I thought I was 1 behind. But yeah, it's no shocker. I'm a fantasy girly. I like my fantasies. Subgenre-wise, we have a little bit more interesting distribution, but it's no shocker, romance is the biggest slice with 18 of them. Paranormal being 12. We've got mythology with 1, mystery 2, magical realism 1 humor, 4 horror, 10 historical, 3 high fantasy, 1 is a hard sci-fi, 5 were a fantasy as the subgenre. That does happen, FYI. 6 were fairy tales, or fairy tale retellings most likely. 1 was an epic fantasy, 4 were dystopian, 1 was crime, 9 were contemporary, 10 were adventure, 8 were urban, 2 were sci-fi. Ta-da. Wunderbar. Probably the least interesting stat of all is I read 93 were novels, 5 were novellas, and 2 were graphic novels. Not a large amount over here. And then no surprise that audiobooks win. I listened to a lot of audiobooks to get through stuff. 56 of them were. 17 were paperback. Only 4 were hardcover, which means I only read 21 physical books. But 23 were ebooks. And I am putting all of that on both KU Mayhem and how many arcs I've been getting, because I've only been getting ebook arcs. I've gotten a couple audiobook arcs, but yeah, this is a wild deviation from how my reading normally goes. I tend to avoid ebooks like the plague, but that's how arcs be working. I still don't enjoy reading ebooks as much as I like reading physical, but that's how the cards have fallen for us. For our authors, we've had 46 of them were new to me authors, with 8 being brand new debut authors. So that makes that 54 authors more so being new to me, but 46 of them were authors that I know and love. It might actually not be 46 exactly, since I've read duplicates. So, but 46 books were from authors that I have read before. In their audience determination, surprisingly, I'm reading more adult lately. 56 of them were categorized as adult, 42 were YA, and 2 have been middle grade. I've really not been doing the middle grades all that much. These are the list of determining, who I've read the most from, who I've listened to the most from. Tamora Pierce is number 1 with 3 books. That's because Hala keeps making me read all of the Tamora Pierce books. They're enjoyable and stuff. Definitely something I would have loved more as a kid. But we've also read a couple from Naomi Novik. We've got Catherine Arden, V.E. Schwab, Neil Gaiman, A.L. Kessler, hey, indies, Maggie Stiefvater, Emily Henry, Julie Kagawa, KJ Charles, another indie, and everybody else is a one-timer. With the narrators, I don't know who I've listened. Has anybody breached 2? I don't think so. I don't think I've listened to anyone. But who are my most popular are Simon Vance, Trina Alvarado, Christopher Ragland, Rebecca Soler, who's my all-time favorite. Nancy Wu is another favorite. And Julia Whalen, also a favorite. Yeah, there we go. That's with that. Cool. So one of my favorite distributions on this is my maps. My maps are super fun. I have a little world map and a USA map. And, I need to extend this because we had one from Austria recently. We've had 33 of them have been in fictional lands, though. 30 from the United States, 20 from the UK, 2 from Turkey. 3 who was traveling all over the world, so I couldn't really categorize it. We have 1 from Russia, Greece, Belgium, France, North Korea, 2 that were set in space, 1 set in the Marianas Trench, 2 from Spain, and there is 1 from Austria here, but I need to fix that. But that's kind of how it looks. It doesn't look very cool right now. It will eventually. With my US map, the most books I've read in the US have actually been from Colorado. 6 of them were from Colorado. Which is just randomly, I was reading books that were set in Colorado, not just other indie authors that are from here, but it was kind of cool. And then right behind them is New York and California, who usually dominate. But, let's hear it for Colorado, folks. This is the first time I think Tennessee has popped up as well, which has been very fun. I think we've actually had a couple from Connecticut. Yeah, there's 2 from Connecticut. If I recall, I'm just making it from the bar here, because for some reason this map will not properly tell me the number when you hover, and I can't figure out how to fix it. So if anybody knows how to fix that, please let me know. From where we acquired everybody, the most we got this year were from NetGalley. I've read 16 from NetGalley that I got this year, which is really fun. Oh no, well, some of them might have been from last year too. But 16 of them have been from NetGalley, which is, I think, a pretty good number, even though I have so many more from NetGalley that I need to read. And then the rest, bigger numbers, are Pango, Second Charles, Amazon, and Book Outlet. I think that's everybody. And then, 5 from conventions. That's pretty good. We got 5 from Facebook Marketplace. An interesting distribution, I would say. For the years that I acquired them, 2023, last year, are the ones I've read the most. We've read 29 that I've acquired from this year, which is great. 20 from 2022, 10 from 2020, only 3 from 2021, 6 from 2019, and I read my oldest book, which was Heartless by Marissa Meyer. With my series, I'm doing okay. I have finished 7 entirely. I have finished 15 that are up to publication. I have DNF'd 7, and that number is about to change because we're about to do a thing. 36 have been standalones, and 35 series in progress are what I've done so far this year. Not too bad. Not too bad. With our publishers, who's won? Macmillan has won this year so far with 17. 16 were self-pub, though. Close. 14 were from HarperCollins, 13 from Hachette, 4 from Simon & Schuster, and 8 were independent presses. Very good. And the year of publication, I have mostly read books from 2015 and 2019, followed closely by this year. New releases. That's probably because of the arcs. 16 from 2022, 14 from 2023, 6 from 2021, 5 from 2020. 5 of them were from 2010 to 2014, and 2 were from 2000. 3 from the 90s, 4 from the 50s to the 80s, and then only 1 that was older than 1799. Because I've read 1 classic this year. Cool. That's those stats. If you guys want to look, this is my series tracker. You can kind of see a little bit more where we stand. I'm still kind of in the middle of a bunch. So we've actually finished up to publication 40 of them. I'm in the middle of 98 series, which I think is that less than when I made my series video? It might not be. It might be more. This one says I've DNF'd 8 though, so something's off with my tracker. But I've definitely been DNFing some. A lot there. Cool. Let's take a quick look. This is my transactions. You can see that. Okay, hold on. Acquisitions. So these are my actual acquisitions. So it is actually less 76, but it's not. We'll just do this. Let's see. How many is that? 74. So I've actually only acquired 74 physical books this year. And this is, I have a little tracker for how much I've read or unread as we try to finish out books. March should be easy. I only have 3 more to read from March, but have I read them? No. I need to. We've got, these are all the arcs, which I will be going over arcs later at some point. And yeah, that's kind of what we've done. Let's take a look at what the books were. We're just going to kind of glide through and take a look. I'll maybe say something or other about 1 or 2 of these, or every single one, because we know I can't shut up about books. But here's how it goes. So the very first book I finished was Heartstopper, Volume 5. It's so good. God, I love Heartstopper. I never want it to end, but I know we're only going to get one more Heartstopper. And then my heart will stop. We read Black Powder War, which continued Temeraire, Long Shadow, which finished out Olivia Atwater's little Regency fairy tale series, The Jasad Heir by Sarah Hethem. Don't know when the sequel's coming out there. A Fragile Enchantment by Alison Saft was excelente. We've got The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston, The Woman Who Rides Like a Man by Tamora Pierce, This Golden Flame by Emily Victoria, God Killer by Hannah Alkaff, Wild Magic by Tamora Pierce, The Invocations by Crystal Sutherland, Defend the Dawn by Bridget Kemmerer, Empire of Ivory by Naomi Novik, Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. That was one of the 2 stars. A Skinful of Shadows by Frances Harding, Queen of Sorcery by David Eddings, Apocalypse Cow by Michael Logan, A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon by Sarah Hawley, A Drop of Magic by L.R. Braden, The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden, Maiden of Artemis by Eloise Barr, My Imaginary Mary by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Joni Meadows, Vengeful by V.E. Schwab, Unmasked by Kendra Merritt, hell yeah, Defiant by Brandon Sanderson, hell yeah, The Warm Hands of Ghosts by Catherine Arden, hell yeah, Castles in Their Bones by Laura Sebastian, The Sandman Volume 1 by Neil Gaiman, We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson, The Electric Kingdom by David Arnold, Deathly Magic by A.L. Kessler, Heartless by Marissa Meyer, Bored Gay Werewolf by Tony Santarella, The Shadow of Kyoshi by F.C. Yee, The Gay Teen's Guide to Defeating a Siren by Cody Wagner, A Venom Dark and Sweet by Judy I. Lynn, Lioness Rampant by Tamora Pierce. I finished Song of the Lioness. King of Dust by Tycho Dwellis, The Beauty and the Beast by Gabrielle Barbaudet. I forgot the last, how do you say the last, it's a fancy French name. The Girl with 7 Names by Young So Lee. In the Woods by Carrie Jones and Stephen E. Weddle. The Trouble with Ghosts by A.L. Kessler. A Story Spun in Scarlet by R. Dugan. Read this book. Okay. Bravely by Maggie Stiefvater. The Fragile Threads of Power by V.E. Schwab. Pages & Co. Tilly and the Book Wanderers by Anna James. A Feather So Black by Lyra Celine. Bonds of Brass by Emily Skrutsky. Wolf's Song by T.J. Klune. It was so good. Song of the Huntress by Lucy Holland. People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. The Dead Cattail Assassins by P. Jelly Clark. A Million Junes by Emily Henry. Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. The Fall That Saved Us by Tamara Jarry. The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. Also read this book. The Umbral Storm by Alec Hudson. The Eternity Cure by Julie Kagawa. Your Blood, My Bones by Kelly Andrew. Raybearer by Jordan Ifueko. The Circus Infinite by Kong Wan. Please read this book. I want a sequel, and Kong Wan needs people to read it and love it so that his publishers go, yes, we do want a sequel. So please, please, please. He responded to my question on Goodreads, and I need everyone to back me up. The Late Mrs. Willoughby by Claudia Gray. A Thief in the Night by K.J. Charles. Woman of Light by Callie Fajardo Anstein. Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. The Last Phi Hunter by Salome Goldenberg. Mountains Made of Glass by Scarlett St. Clair. I'm so sorry if you can hear children. They're very loud, but it's very hot in here and I need windows open or else we will all melt. Nothing to See Here by Kevin Wilson. A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods by Molly X. Chan. Molly X. Chan. Sorry, that was a weird way of saying Molly. The Fountains of Silence by Ruta Sepetys. When Among Crows by Veronica Roth. All the Crooked Saints by Maggie Stiefvater. The Prisoner of Heaven by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. Paradise 1 by David Wellington. Talon by Julie Kagawa. Hollow Fires by Samira Ahmed. Any Old Diamonds by K.J. Charles. Wolf by Ryan Groudon. The Forest Grimm by Catherine Purdy. Love at First Night by Megan Clausen. Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Neuvel. Slewfoot by Brom. The Bad Ones by Melissa Albert. The Prince of Fishes by Susanna Rowantree. The Sky Weaver by Kristen Ciccarelli. Merchants of Knowledge and Magic by Erica McCorkle. Phoenix Child by Alicia McKenna Johnson. Gift of Air by C.L. Carhart. Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. Richard Osman's The Thursday Murder Club. The Lamplighter by Crystal J. Bell. The Remarkable Journey of Coyote Sunrise by Dan Gemeinhart. Beasts of Ruin by Ayanna Gray. Bound by Fate and Blood by Jenna O'Malley. Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson. And finally, The Silent Prince by C.J. Brightly. There you have it. And that is the 100 books that I have read this year. I have TikTok reviews for every single one of them, so you can go check me out at Stephanie and Mambo on TikTok. Instagram also has them at CordyQ. I dual post them there. Let me know if you want me to talk more about any of these books. I will be going over the arcs in a little bit more of a detailed video, but if there's one here that I'm like, you want more opinions on, let me know. Put it in the comments below, and I will attempt to make something a little bit more in-depth of my review for it. Whether it good or bad. All right, well, that's 100 books. Let me know how you're doing on your reading journey. Also, I don't want anyone to feel bad that, like, I've read 100 books and like, you're like, I've read 2 or not even 1. I'm an insane person without a social life, okay? This is what I do. It's kind of my job, so I don't want anyone to think that I read, well, I definitely read too much, but too much is not a problem for me. Okay, I like my life how it is. I like reading this much. I enjoy going through book after book after book, and I enjoy adding book after book after book onto my never-ending TBR. I'm not overwhelmed by the amount of books that I have not read yet. I love adding more. I know realistically I will not get to all of them, but it's a comfort for me. So do not feel like reading is a competition, because it's not. To your own taste. I also don't even DNF. So that's something that is also a crazy person side of me. So I read all of these, but I feel like it's my duty as a book reviewer to fully read and review and showcase and share my thoughts and opinions, whereas you don't have to have that pressure on yourself if you don't want to. It's your life. This is my life. This is what I do. Cool. Okay. Awesome. I'm going to go now. All my links are in the description. If you have a book that you want to put on my TBR, you can commission me on my Ko-fi page, or you can just add it to the viewer pool. It does not cost anything to add to the viewer pool. There's a Google Doc link that you can just throw a book on there and it will go into my viewer pool. But if you want me to read it like right now, then yeah, you have to pay that one on the commissions. You can also purchase any of the books that I have personally written. They're all available on my Ko-fi page and on Amazon, on KU. Everybody is on KU, and Search for the Phoenix is on Audible. I'm still working on the rest of it. So cool. All right. Well, I think that's everything. I'm going to go now. Have a lovely day. Bye. Stop yawning. Every time I start recording, I yawn. The ebook is 91 pages with The Thief in the Knife by Thief in the Night. Thief in the Knife. 81 pages.